Hello, guys, back again with another podcast. Again, I'm joined again with Zach, and we're going to be reviewing the games which took place this weekend that just went by, and it was the game week 3 of the Premier League. It wasn't the best week in terms of goal mouth action, incidents like that, but there were a few decent games in there. So we're going to get stuck into what went on, key talking points, big shocks, and things like that. So we start off always by going through the first game of the weekend, and the first game of the weekend was the lunchtime kickoff on Saturday between Bournemouth and Manchester City. Manchester City went down in this game 1-0 to a brilliant goal from Charlie Daniels with a sweet strike. There was no way the keeper was saving that. And then Man City obviously grew back into the game and they equalised through Jesus with a nice finish. And then I want to leave, Zach, for you to talk about the last 5 minutes of the game. And do you reckon Sterling should have been sent off? Do you reckon the goal should have stood? What did you make of all the players going towards the fans? If it's a red card for one, shouldn't it be at least a yellow for all, even though Sterling was booked? Those last 5 minutes were bizarre. So what did you make of them?
The ref was a heretic almost. He was absolutely shambolic. The guy who was he made a stupid decision in allowing City to play to 7 minutes extra time to score a goal. It just sounds stupid. You step 5 minutes for the game, and then you end the game. But he gave him 7 minutes, and then bizarrely Sterling, he went into the fans, and when he scored his goal, which was a scuffed goal, first of all, it was a scuffed goal into the net to win the match, and then he ran to the fans, and then he got yellow carded, which is his second yellow, and he got red carded, and he was also obviously the game was finished at that point, but all the fans, seven players ran into the fans, and I was surprised not to see them get yellow carded. It was just Sterling, the one who got yellow carded, second yellow, and got red carded. It was a very stupid decision from Mike Dean, and it was really, really a moment of madness for the referee and City.
It's really crazy the fact that Mike Dean, apparently, he's been like one of the more refs that's got so much abuse from so many fans due to the fact that a lot of people think the guy wants the center of attention most of the time, and he thinks the game revolves around him. I remember he made a few dodgy decisions in an Arsenal game not too long ago, and due to the fact he did that, he was degraded into the Championship for a game, and he had to referee that. A lot of people think that he thinks that the game's about him, and he needs to be center of attention all the time. That's why a lot of fans hate the guy.
Yeah, I know. At the end of the day, you're a Premier League referee, and the Premier League level these days is very competitive. And all these fine margins, yeah, they play a part. And if this guy thinks he can be the center of attention, he's kind of kidding himself. He's playing himself nicely and making a right fool of himself in terms of the whole fan and the media. Like, especially as a United fan, I've seen so many decisions go against. And if I see him in the future doing this, literally, I think this guy he should have like a petition. He should literally get panned by fans almost. Fans should just grab him and just love him.
Come the end of the season, like you said, it could be really close. And the fact that he played up 7 minutes of added time and there was only 5 added on, and the fact that City scored those 3 points could be huge coming into the last few games of the season as well. All right, so moving on to the game, the 3 o'clock kickoff which took place. So we go on to we'll get rid of the really dull game that took place. So first of all, let's talk about Brighton Watford. Not Brighton Watford. Watford Brighton. Yeah, Watford Brighton. A game with, again, very poor quality. The only incident that happened was the sending off to Miguel Britos. Disgusting challenge by him. The player who he tackled was really lucky not to get injured really badly in that. I thought it was horrible. Yeah.
Bro, his reaction was disgusting. The guy was like shouting and pushing people, and I don't understand.
It's potentially like if his leg got stuck in the ground, it was potentially a career-ending challenge, and the fact that he managed not to get hurt from it just shows how lucky he was. But yeah, again, talking about the game is really disappointing. The fact that Brighton, they had a chance for almost an hour to try and rectify and get their first 3 points of the season. Because if you look at it, they're not going to pick up much points elsewhere, and that would have been a perfect opportunity to get a bit of confidence with an hour left and get the win, even though if it was only a 1-0 win, take the 3 points. But they couldn't, and a 0-0 draw against Watford, the fact that they were down to 10 men for a majority of the game, for Brighton, I'd say that's a disappointing result, considering I don't see where they're going to get the points from.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next game, another dull game, really dull game, Huddersfield-Southampton. What did you make of that?
Another Southampton thingy, abysmal performance. It's like Southampton, they've just completely disrupted their play, basically. They can't really get a foot into this Premier League season. The only bright spot I see for Southampton is Gabriel. Apart from that, the rest of the they all obviously we have Van Dijk, a few good players to go, but apart from that, they're not really playing amazing football. To just draw 0-0 to the Huddersfield team, that just shows that. And I think against
I'd have to disagree with you there. The fact that you're saying due to a Huddersfield team, the fact that Huddersfield have won their first 2 games, and as Southampton is not an easy game, and Huddersfield are sitting nicely at the top with about 7 points.
Yeah, but you gotta understand with Huddersfield, have they played in the Premier League in recent seasons? It's just like they've just been promoted and now they're playing at this good level. A rare burst of games. Yeah, and they're already a reputable team. I think a team like Southampton, the caliber of Southampton, easily or run over like Huddersfield.
A lot of people are saying that even I predicted that Huddersfield would be a walkover because I want to see where the goals would come from for them this season. But the fact that they've shown that they can score goals, 3 goals away at Crystal Palace, and they're beating newly promoted Newcastle, that's just showing the intent and the fact that they've not conceded a goal yet, which is amazing because the only other team that's done that is Man United. And comparing Huddersfield to Man United just shows how great the defense is.
What is with Huddersfield? They're trying to make a claim for themselves in the Premier League that they deserve to be in the Premier League under the season. That's what they're trying to do. By playing good early on, they're trying to basically get their foot in the Premier League. And because it's a big step from the championship, they realize they have to play football to the optimum, like don't mess around. They have to make sure they win points as much as possible throughout the season.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So moving on to the next 3:00 kickoff. For me, a surprise result in Swansea beating Crystal Palace away. They managed to beat them last season, so maybe that played a factor to it. But Crystal Palace are looking really poor at the start of this season, really bad. And the fact that they couldn't beat Swansea at home, which was pretty much a game that they should have won. And the fact that some of the goals they conceded were pretty shocking as well. First goal, cross into the box, easy finish for Tammy Abraham. And the second goal, I don't know what the keeper was doing, just letting it roll through him. And basically, I just walked into the net and made it 2-0. It looks like Frank de Boer has a lot of problems at Crystal Palace at the moment. And he needs to rectify it pretty quickly because otherwise, before they know it, they're going to be playing catch-up and they're going to be already in a relegation fight 3 games into the season.
Yeah, I don't think they've signed really any enforcements to that team. So you can see that dip. And because they're like they're not really performing. And their defense from a force who's just they've not a real backbone. They've got no backbone in their team. So they crumble into these small teams.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. But to be honest, I see Crystal Palace coming good in the next 5 or 10 games. I don't think that they'll be there for too long. I think it's just that they've had a bad run of form. And don't forget, they played Liverpool away as well. So it's not the end of the world for Crystal Palace. And I'm sure they'll pick up really soon. So then moving on to the next game, we move on to the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. And that was between Manchester United and Leicester. A game which I predicted would be a lot more difficult for United considering the first 2 games that they had, which were 4-0 easy wins against Leicester. Leicester did make it difficult for them, but as soon as they got the breakthrough, United were going to score again. And Yeah, it was two goals that weren't the best of finishes, but they got the 3 points, and that's all that matters. The fact that Rashford scored gave him a bit of confidence, and Fellaini, almost the missing man at United, turning up again with a big goal to give them a comfortable 2-0 win. So I know you're a big United fan yourself. 2-0 win against Leicester. You've not conceded a goal yet. The spine of your team's looking brilliant. And yeah, are you happy with things at the moment?
Yeah. So is audio all right? Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. United. They played really well, but I'd say because of the first half performance where they never scored any goals, which they were very unlucky not to score any goals. They really showed like real confidence, and they put their forward that, to prove that they deserve to win the Premier League. United deserve to win the Premier League this year by scoring two goals out of nothing. United proved that they deserve to win the Premier League, and conceding more goals that just goes to show that the backbone of the team is really strong. Eric Bailly, David De Gea, Pogba, they're really doing well, and they're stopping any chance for the opposition team to score, especially in the middle of the park. Teams have to really attack with the wings, and they're kind of restricted.
I think it's a bit. I think it's a bit early to say that you're going to win the Premier League, but yeah, I'd have to agree. You're looking the best at the moment. But considering the teams you've played, United fans would argue you can only beat what's in front of you. But the fact that like these games against Leicester last year would have been a lot more difficult, and that second goal wouldn't have come, and most likely Leicester would have got a late equaliser. But you managed to somehow grind the win, and that's all that matters. And you're sitting comfortably at the top of the table after 3 weeks going into the international break. Okay, so moving on to the Sunday games. So we'll start with the 1:30 kickoff. So the first game was Chelsea against Everton. A really comfortable Chelsea win in this game. I thought Everton would make it a lot more difficult than they did, as they showed against Man City previously during that week. But it was a really professional performance from Chelsea, getting goals to Fabregas and another signing Morata with another goal for them. He's proving a lot of people wrong so far this season. The fact that he's scored quite a few goals already, a lot of people doubted him to hit the ground running, but he's proving a lot of people wrong. And the fact that he's another great header yesterday. Chelsea, after that opening day defeat against Burnley, looks a long time away. And the fact that they beat Spurs at Wembley and now they followed that up with a good win against Everton, I'm sure they take 6 points out of 9 out of the first 3 games. And then moving on to the next 1:30 kickoff, that was between. I didn't get to watch this game because I was at the Liverpool game, but it was West Brom Stoke. What did you make of the West Brom Stoke game, which finished 1-1?
West Brom Stoke. Was it not Tottenham versus Burnley?
It was West Brom Stoke at 1:30, and West Brom took the lead through what's his name, Jay Rodriguez, with a good finish. But then a calamitous defending at the back from Stoke. I don't know what the West Brom keeper was doing coming out, and it was a simple header for Peter Crouch to make it 1-1. A game which lacked quality, but I'd say a 1-1 draw was a fair result of when reflecting on the game. So moving on to the final games of the weekend. First, we'll start with
about the Chelsea performance.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised to see Chelsea doing so well. I thought this would reflect Mourinho's third season at Chelsea. I thought it did like that. But I think Antonio Conte, he's really got his side like organized really well. And they're playing good football, surprisingly. Morata, they're really creating lots of chances and finishing. And with the recruitment of I only see Chelsea. I personally think they'll challenge for the title.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the final 2 games of the weekend. First, we'll start off with Tottenham Burnley. Again, Spurs' Wembley woes continue. Beaten by Chelsea last week, conceding a last-minute equaliser to Chris Wood against Burnley. A game where you'd expect Tottenham to dominate, which they did for large parts of the game, dominating the game. They went a goal ahead through Dele Alli, but the second goal just wouldn't come. And literally, like last 2 minutes of the game, great ball across in the midfield. Then Chris Wood running onto it, 1-1, and that's it. Another 2 points drop for Tottenham, which I feel like they'd be really angry with. Wembley's going to be a difficult place for them to play this season, as we've seen in the Europa League. That it's not something that they look forward to playing at Wembley, but they're going to have to work out a formula to try and play there. But yeah, I reckon Tottenham, they'll do all right this season, but nowhere near as good as next season. I think Wembley will be a really difficult place for them to adapt to for this season. So then moving on to the final game, which was the game which I'm going to talk about, was Liverpool versus Arsenal, which finished Liverpool 4, Arsenal 0. I was at the game at Anfield yesterday, and to be honest, I'd have to say it's probably the worst Arsenal game I've ever witnessed in my life. The fact that we were dominated so badly, and the fact that there wasn't any effort there, no passion, no determination, no willingness to close down, just no end quality, no end product, nothing. We only had 2 shots in the game. The first chance fell to Danny Welbeck. If he scores that, it's a different game. And the fact coming onto the Danny Welbeck situation, you buy a striker for 50 million in Alexander Lacazette, and Wenger sticks him on the bench, which had a lot of people angry at the game. Welbeck, he played against Stoke last week. He was shocking against Stoke, missed so many chances. I don't know what he's doing to keep his place in the team. Luckily, we had Alexis back and Koscielny back. But Wenger, again, making the subs when it's already 3-0 down. There's no point bringing on Lacazette and Giroud when you're 3-0 down. Always too little, too late. Defensively, he was shocking. Bellerin on the left wing back again. Again, against Stoke, he was playing there. Wenger didn't learn from his mistake. Sticks him on the left again. He got roasted by Salah. Mane was holding a nightmare on the right-hand side. And yeah, pretty much Liverpool just dominated from start to finish. We didn't have a sniff in the game. I was just so disappointed to see the fact that there was no effort there apart from the Alexis Sanchez. But seeing him so disappointed after the game, I don't know if we'll see him in an Arsenal shirt ever again, which is sad to say because no one else is pulling the weight around in an Arsenal shirt. And yeah, so disappointing to lose 4-0 to Liverpool. What was your take on it?
First of all, Arsenal are in a really situation right? Like the hierarchy of the club, the directors, the chair of the board, they basically don't care about the club. If they really cared about the club, they'd make they basically put a mark on the team and the club.
I agree because what's going on now, it makes no sense. We're losing centre back after centre back. We lost Gabriel to Valencia for 10 million, which is a joke. The fact that he sold for 10 million just shows Wenger can't negotiate properly, and the fact he's letting him go for 10 million. Then there's rumours of Mustafi. He's only been here a year, and apparently he's already agreed a deal with Inter Milan. That's another shocking decision. Gibbs will let go as well. Another useful player to have. Holding is inexperienced. Koscielny is getting on a bit. What are we going to do? We're not going to have any centre backs left. Chambers, what's he going to do? It's just so disappointing. The fact that.
Do you think also they've got a conundrum of problems, but they're trying to hide it by buying these players, and class and access, trying to almost cover their problems, cover their basic.
Nah, you know what it is? It's no joke. The fact that you sign a player for 50 million, he says that you know what he can do, and you stick Danny Welbeck, who scored about 2 goals for us in 1 year up front. There's a reason why United let him go. The guy's rubbish. And the fact that Wenger put Danny Welbeck up front against Liverpool just shows that he doesn't know what he's doing. He's lost the plot. Like, pulling Bellerin, a guy who can't cross with his right foot on the left wing, just makes no sense up against Mohamed Salah, who just destroyed him yesterday. Mane destroyed Holding yesterday. There's just nothing was there. It was shocking to watch.
It's clear to go. It's clear to see that as a United fan, opposition fan, that Arsenal they're in a very dire situation. Where the fans, first of all, they've fallen out with the club and also Wenger, and now the players have fallen out with Wenger and the board.
Wenger has to do
And,
something in the next 3 days.
And the players that are playing on the pitch, they're not giving their everything.
Exactly. In
They
the next
feel like
3 days,
there's problems, ongoing problems
in
within
the
the
next
club
3 days,
and the manager.
in the next 3 days, he has to sort something out. We have to see a few signings. Draxler has to come. Van Dijk has to come. We have to make 2 more signings in the next few days. If he doesn't, we're fucked this season. Simple.
Exactly.
All right, guys.
Now that you lost Chamberlain, you're gonna have to make some.
Everything's
That's 3 days.
Yeah, everything's falling apart. All right, guys.
Is there even one player that you made a bid for?
No, not yet. Well, we'll have to see what happens in the next 3 days. Anyway, guys, it's been a great show. Thanks again, Zach, for giving your input. Always appreciated. Yeah, guys, that's it for this week. Next week, there won't be a show due to the fact that it's the international break. But after that, we'll be resuming with the next game week fixtures. But yeah, disappointing week for Arsenal. Brilliant week for Man United. And that's it, guys. Thank you.